Stand up right now if you're physically capable. Go ahead. I'll wait patiently while you rise to your feet. Once you're standing, pause for a moment and truly notice how your body and mind feel in this precise instant. Do you sense any stiffness creeping into your joints or lower back? Maybe a pervasive tiredness pressing down on you? Or that all-too-familiar mental fog quietly dimming your thoughts? Here's a crucial truth that far too many seniors unfortunately ignore or downplay. The mild dullness in your cognition right now, together with those annoying occasional memory lapses or struggles to recall the right word, may not be an unavoidable or completely normal aspect of growing older, even though that's what many people have reluctantly come to believe over time. Let me reveal the surprising and often overlooked reality. These ongoing sleep difficulties are silently and progressively eroding the long-term health and effectiveness of your brain. The harm happens quietly, without noticeable physical pain, without obvious alarms, and usually without you realizing the slow damage unfolding deep inside. What if I told you plainly that the single most significant hidden culprit quietly sabotaging brain health in so many older adults isn't too much sugar, isn't built-up chronic stress from earlier years, and isn't mainly your genetics, but something far more common, everyday, and completely under your control to fix: your sleep habits, routines, and patterns. My name is Dr. Name, and for over 20 years, I've devoted my professional life and clinical research to exploring the deep links between sleep patterns and sustained brain health, particularly in older adults. In my practice, I witnessed the same concerning pattern emerge with disheartening regularity. Seniors come to see me, often worried, sometimes truly scared, convinced that their worsening memory slips, rising irritability or quick temper, or episodes of confusion are simply inescapable signs of aging that everyone must eventually endure and accept. But in a surprisingly high number of these situations, when we look at the complete picture closely, the real root cause turns out to be something much more correctable, treatable, and manageable: the way they've been sleeping, or more accurately, how they've consistently fallen short of reliable, high-quality, deeply restorative sleep night after night. What most people have been told for years, and what still gets repeated in typical sleep guidance, is sadly incomplete. It overlooks several of the most important and impactful details. Quality sleep isn't mainly or solely about how many hours you spend in bed each night. In truth, sleep is the single most essential, non-negotiable daily window during which your brain performs a wide range of critical behind-the-scenes upkeep and restoration work. It actively flushes out and removes harmful metabolic waste and toxic proteins, like the well-known beta amyloid associated with cognitive decline, that accumulate while you're awake. It solidly consolidates and reinforces the new memories and abilities you gained during the day. It carries out careful repairs on tired or injured neural connections, and it recalibrates and balances your emotional centers to bring back calm and emotional strength for the next day. When sleep is repeatedly disrupted, fragmented, shallow, or lacking in real depth, even when the total hours seem decent, the brain is nearly always the first organ to show the resulting harm, deterioration, and impaired performance. From a thorough clinical and neuroscientific viewpoint, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, your brain's master circadian clock situated in the hypothalamus, relies heavily on consistent, dependable, repeated timing signals from your daily routines and surroundings to stay aligned and function at its best. When bedtime shifts too much or becomes irregular, even by only an hour or two night to night, the quantity and quality of deep NREM sleep, which is vital for strong long-term memory consolidation and synaptic pruning, drops noticeably, weakens, and gets disturbed. A comprehensive long-term study by researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder followed 300 adults over 8 full years. The results showed that people with irregular or widely varying sleep schedules suffered a remarkable 30% faster decline, specifically in episodic memory, the type used for recalling personal events and experiences. And this quicker decline happened even when their average sleep duration remained about the same. Another very frequent habit among many seniors is lying awake in bed for long stretches, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour or more, night after night, while telling themselves it's not a big deal or this is normal now and then. Yet this habit is especially harmful, sneaky, and self-reinforcing. Your brain is an incredibly efficient, lifelong learning machine that constantly builds strong links between locations, actions, and mental states. When you stay awake, restless, or worried in bed for extended times repeatedly over weeks and months, your brain slowly but surely starts associating your bed with wakefulness, alertness, overthinking, concern, or light stress, instead of the peaceful, profound, restorative rest it's designed for. Over time, this learned negative connection leads to lighter sleep structure overall, far more frequent short awakenings and fragmentation all night long, and markedly less slow-wave deep restorative sleep. Consider a straightforward everyday comparison. It's similar to repeatedly trying to park your car but leaving it running and idling in the middle of a noisy, congested city intersection full of traffic rather than driving into a quiet, protected garage. Your bed should be a serene, safe, predictable haven, a true garage where your mind and body can fully unwind and recharge. But by lingering awake and mentally engaged in it night after night, you unintentionally turn that tranquil refuge into something disorderly, like heavy rush-hour traffic buzzing with constant stimulation. Research from Johns Hopkins University, tracking 250 adults aged 65 and older over a long period, clearly showed that those who routinely stayed awake in bed for prolonged periods had on average 42% more disruptive awakenings at night and noticeably elevated morning anxiety and tension. The gradual but genuine buildup of effects includes steadily worsening daytime brain fog, ongoing irritability or short temper, reduced emotional bounce back, and even the start or worsening of anxiety, even in people who previously experienced little of it. Imagine your brain as a big absorbent sponge throughout the day. It needs to take in enough wakefulness pressure from prolonged active hours so it can be fully wrung out, cleaned, and refreshed during sleep. When you cut short that daytime buildup by going to bed much too early, the nighttime cleansing, repair, and memory-strengthening processes can't happen as fully or effectively. In-depth polysomnography research from the University of Michigan found that seniors with very early bedtimes, often 8 p.m. or before, had REM sleep cycles roughly 20% shorter on average, even when they stayed in bed for 9 to 10 hours trying to rest. This mismatch in timing often looks like, and gets mistaken for, the early signs of cognitive decline or mild cognitive impairment. The good news is that in the majority of cases, this is largely reversible with consistent, proper bedtime adjustments. Moreover, controlled studies from Stanford University revealed that even moderate ambient light at night in adults 65 and older could suppress melatonin production by up to 50%. This drop led to lighter, less efficient sleep stages, poorer next-day memory creation and retention, and small but detectable drops in executive function. Too many seniors underestimate how damaging this one modest environmental factor can grow to be over time, mainly because the brain gives no loud, painful alerts when melatonin is chronically lowered. The mental and emotional drawbacks build up slowly and silently over months and years, making it hard to spot the link to poor sleep habits in the moment. Take Harold as an example, a 68-year-old gentleman who slowly moved his bedtime earlier and earlier, eventually settling at 7 p.m., thinking extra time lying down would bring better rest, quicker recovery, and more daytime energy. Instead, the reverse happened. He woke fully alert at 3 a.m. every night, unable to fall back asleep, staring at the ceiling in frustration for hours. Neuropsychological tests then showed mild but definite drops in short-term recall and working memory. He had also used low-dose sleep medication nightly for years with diminishing results. Working together, we set a firm, non-negotiable morning wake-up time, no matter the prior night's sleep, drastically cut nighttime light exposure, especially from devices and hallway lights, and slowly pushed bedtime later by 15 minutes every few nights. Harold's deep sleep percentage rose by an impressive 35% per his sleep tracker. In only 8 weeks of sticking to it, his word recall and list learning scores jumped from 1520 to 1920. The thick morning brain fog he'd endured for years vanished completely, and his daytime mood stabilized into calm, patient, and upbeat. The rest protocol effectively restored his brain's natural repair and regulatory functions. The heart of the rest protocol starts with rhythm, firmly fixing your wake-up time every single day. Commit seriously to getting up and out of bed at exactly the same time each morning, regardless of how little or badly you slept. Next comes stimulus control, a proven behavioral sleep technique. If you're awake in bed for more than 20-30 minutes, any time during the night, and sleep isn't coming despite trying to relax, get up quietly, keep lighting very low, using a small red or amber light for safety if needed, and do something truly boring and non-engaging, like reading dull pages from an uninteresting book, listening to calm, non-story sounds, gentle nature recordings or soft instrumental music, or sitting quietly in another room. The aim is to retrain your brain to strongly link your bed and bedroom with rest, relaxation, drowsiness, and deep sleep, rather than wakefulness, rumination, or anxiety. Johns Hopkins research showed this method cuts average nighttime awakenings by around 42% in seniors within 6 weeks of steady practice. Then there's timing, the third pillar. Target a bedtime window of about 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. for most seniors. Adjust slightly for your natural chronotype or schedule, but this range has solid evidence behind it. If your current bedtime is much earlier, like 7:30 or 8 p.m., shift it later gradually in 15-minute steps every few nights until you reach better biological alignment. Finally, actively reduce nighttime light exposure and talk carefully with your doctor about any ongoing sleep medication. After sunset, use only dim, warm, amber, or red lighting at home and steer clear of blue light screens, phones, tablets, TVs, etc. for at least 1 hour before bed, ideally 90 minutes to 2 hours. Safeguarding your natural melatonin is key to gaining deeper, more restorative sleep and supporting overnight brain repair, memory consolidation, synaptic balance, and emotional reset. Even small, steady improvements in light control and screen habits often bring surprisingly large and lasting gains in daily brain function and well-being. To be fully clear and responsible, the REST protocol offers safe, evidence-based lifestyle and behavioral strategies to enhance natural sleep quality and support brain health. It is not a medical cure, treatment, reversal, or preventive for diagnosed conditions like dementia, Alzheimer's disease, vascular cognitive impairment, Lewy body disease, frontotemporal dementia, or other serious progressive neurological disorders. Never stop, change, or adjust any prescribed medications, including sleep aids, antidepressants, blood pressure drugs, cognitive enhancers, etc., without full discussion and approval from your physician or neurologist. If you have untreated obstructive sleep apnea, major heart issues, such as congestive heart failure, recent heart attack, or arrhythmias, severe untreated depression, bipolar disorder, restless legs syndrome, chronic pain-disrupting sleep, or other significant medical or psychiatric conditions, consult your doctor, a sleep specialist, or relevant expert before making big sleep routine changes. The best approach is gradual. Start with fixed wake-up time, slowly adjust bedtime, then add stimulus control and light management once the base feels solid. Gradual shifts let your body and brain adapt comfortably and sustainably, far better than abrupt changes. These steps are low risk, generally safe for most older adults when done thoughtfully, and backed by strong peer-reviewed evidence showing real gains in sleep quality, cognition, and brain health with aging. My personal challenge to you today: pick just one piece of the REST protocol, maybe committing to a fixed wake-up time, including weekends, slowly moving bedtime toward 9:30 to 10:30 p.m., cutting evening light exposure, or applying stimulus control when awake too long in bed, and stick to it fully for the next 30 days, no exceptions. Each day, write a short note about how your mental clarity, mood steadiness, and memory dependability feel compared to before. After 30 days, return here and share honestly in the comments what went well, what was tough, and any shifts, large or small, in brain function, energy, mood, or sharpness. Your real stories can motivate, uplift, and build hope and connection for others facing the same issues while strengthening your own accountability. Your brain has loyally carried you through decades of life's highs and lows, joys, struggles, successes, difficulties, quiet wins, everything. It has been your companion, problem solver, memory guardian, and emotional foundation. It deserves much more than to be brushed off as just old age, when so much decline may actually come from correctable sleep problems rather than irreversible aging. The empowering fact is that you can take practical, science-supported steps right now to gain sharper memory, better focus, more stable emotions, and refreshed mental energy, all through careful, consistent improvements to your sleep habits. The overlooked truth persists. Poor, inconsistent, low-quality sleep, not just sugar, not chronic stress alone, not only genetics, is quietly speeding up brain function decline every day, often without pain or clear signals. Over more than 20 years in senior brain health and sleep research and practice, I've seen this avoidable pattern repeat in hundreds of patients. Memory issues, irritability, confusion, word-finding trouble, daytime fatigue, and lowered resilience often stem from chronic sleep disruptions and poor sleep structure, not pure aging. Sleep serves as active nightly brain maintenance, clearing toxins, storing memories, repairing connections, resetting emotions. When quality slips, the brain suffers first and hardest. The reality so many still overlook, undervalue, or miss entirely is this: poor, disrupted, inconsistent, or low-quality sleep habits. Not excessive sugar over the years, not chronic stress in isolation, not solely genetic factors, are quietly, steadily impairing and accelerating brain function decline every single day, often without pain, without dramatic warnings, and without the link being obvious. After more than 20 years focused on senior brain health and sleep science in research and clinical work, I've watched this same preventable pattern recur countless times with hundreds of patients. Memory lapses, increased irritability or emotional reactivity, growing confusion or word-finding difficulties, ongoing daytime fatigue, and reduced mental resilience very often trace back to underlying chronic sleep disruptions and suboptimal sleep architecture rather than unavoidable, unstoppable aging by itself. Sleep is much more than passive bedtime. It functions as the vital, active nightly phase when your brain handles essential housekeeping, clearing accumulated toxic metabolic waste, consolidating and strengthening new memories for long-term storage, making microscopic repairs to damaged or weakened neural pathways, and resetting your emotional equilibrium and limbic system for better stability and flexibility ahead. When sleep quality repeatedly weakens, fragments or shallows, your brain inevitably feels the effects first and most deeply, often long before other organs show obvious signs. Thank you truly from my heart for taking the time to watch, listen, or read all the way to this point. It means a great deal that you invested this time in learning about something so essential to your long-term well-being. Feel completely free and encouraged to share your current age in the comments. It builds community perspective, or just write the word foggy if that captures how your thinking or energy feels lately, or type I'm in if you're ready and eager to start at least one small practical rest change tonight or tomorrow. Improving and protecting your sleep is one of the kindest, most powerful, accessible, and high-impact things you can do for your mind's long-term health, sharpness, and vitality. I sincerely appreciate you being here with me today, and I look forward to hearing from you soon, whether a brain-restored note, your 30-day update, or a brief comment on how this resonated. Take good care of yourself and your sleep. Until next time. One last gentle reminder before we end. The rest protocol changes are intentionally approachable, sustainable, and forgiving. You don't have to overhaul your whole life at once. Trying to do everything simultaneously often causes overwhelm and quick burnout. That's exactly why the protocol emphasizes starting with just one pillar, rhythm as the strongest and most foundational, since a solid wake-up time creates a reliable anchor for everything else to build around. Once that anchor holds firm, the other adjustments, bedtime timing, stimulus control, light management become much easier and more effective. Many starting this path say the first week or two feels a bit odd, maybe waking at the new fixed time feeling groggy after little sleep, or battling the urge to nap, a common temptation worth gently resisting when possible to preserve nighttime sleep drive. These short-lived discomforts are normal signs your internal clock and sleep pressure systems are readjusting. They almost always fade within 7-14 days as consistency builds and your circadian rhythm strengthens. If you face ongoing difficulties, like staying extremely sleepy during the day after weeks of effort, or noticing loud snoring, gasping reported by a partner, frequent leg movements waking you, or other hints of an underlying sleep disorder, please don't wait to seek professional help. A sleep study, polysomnography, or visit with a board-certified sleep medicine specialist can detect treatable issues like sleep apnea, periodic limb movement disorder, or others that behavioral steps alone may not fully resolve. Addressing those core problems first often makes the rest protocol work better and quicker. For most cases, where built-up poor sleep habits, not a major undiagnosed medical sleep disorder, are the main issue, the power of this method lies in its simplicity and empowerment. No costly gadgets, fancy supplements, or complicated routines needed. What matters is consistency, patience, and treating sleep with the same care you give to nutrition, exercise, and relationships. Sleep isn't a luxury or extra, it's the foundation that lets every other part of life function at its peak. As you move forward with your chosen single change over the next 30 days, approach it with curiosity rather than perfectionism. Notice what happens when you stick to your wake-up time even after a rough night. Watch how energy, mood, and mental clarity shift, even slightly, when you cut evening screens and bright lights. See if getting out of bed after 20-30 minutes awake shortens the time to fall back asleep when you return. These small personal insights are powerful. They turn abstract science into real, lived proof that your efforts are working. When the 30 days are up, I truly hope you'll come back and share. It can be brief. Something simple like, age 72, began with fixed 7 a.m. wake-up, fog lifting a bit each week, I'm in. Or, foggy described me perfectly. After 30 days, no phone past 9 p.m., mornings feel clearer. Or, tough at first, wanted to stay in bed at 4 a.m., but stimulus control helped, memory sharper already. Your voice counts. Every honest share supports someone else reading now, feeling discouraged and questioning if change is possible at their age. It shows they're not alone, that small, steady actions can grow into real progress, and that it's never too late to give your brain the nightly support it's been quietly needing. In closing, here's my final thought. Aging itself isn't the enemy of a sharp, vibrant mind. Neglecting the brain's most crucial nightly recovery process is. By choosing, even in one small way, to prioritize better sleep architecture, you're investing in long-term mental clarity, emotional steadiness, and resilience that enhance every area of life. You've already taken the hardest step by reading to the end and opening to the idea that just getting older may not be the full story. Now the next small step is yours. Pick your one rest element tonight, commit tomorrow morning, track it gently for 30 days. Then return and tell us how it went. Your clearer-minded future self is waiting on the other side of that consistency. Thank you again for your time, attention, and willingness to consider a different path for brain health. Sleep well, live sharply, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, take good care.